So we're going to mount a picture on the wall today. This happens to be a good sized picture with a fair bit of weight to it. So it requires two hangers, equally spaced. But the first thing we have to do is find the center of the space in which we're going to mount the picture. So we're going to measure the distance between these two lights. So that's 44 inches. So 22 inches in from here is going to be the center spot. So now, the other thing we do is determine the center of the picture. Picture is 31 and 3/8. So the center is going to be 15 and roughly 5/8. 15 and 5/8. So we'll come over, and that's just a rough line so that we know if we've got it centered in the wall when we do get it mounted. So the next thing we have to do is you take the picture, and as you can see here, it's got two slots with a hole at each end. The hole is where the nail goes in, and then you slide the picture across, and the head of the nail is in behind here, and that's what holds it on. So what we have to do is measure the distance between two of those holes, the center of the hole on, we'll say, on the far side. And that happens to be 19 inches. So that's how far apart these two holes are going to be. And the halfway point is 9.5 inches. So now we take 9.5 inches out from the center point that we mark here, and that's where we're going to put the nails in to mount the picture. The only other thing we have to do is get the height of the picture that we want it to be mounted on here. Okay, here we are back again. So we've determined that the center of the new picture should be even or centered on the center of the existing picture on the opposing wall. So what we've done, we measured down, we found the center point, and then I just use a level. In this case I've got a 2-foot level, and I take that across, I measure, put a little dot, the pencil in the corner, and I bring it across, and I've got the center of where this picture should be. Then, knowing the full height of the picture, we cut it in half, we measure up to the top, and we've got the top of the picture. And we just put a couple of dots on there. And then we look at the back of the picture, and the center is 6 inches in, and the center of this slot is 1.5 inches down from the top. So we know that if we want the top of the picture to be up here, we've got to come down 1.5 inches. I always like to work from the center point. So I've measured, and I've just put a dot on this picture at the center of the picture, and then I measure it out, and lo and behold, it's 9.5 inches to the center of that slot. And it's 9.5 inches from the center here to the center of this slot. So I just do the same thing. I take my level, I put it vertical, I take the center spot, I mark it, I go out 9.5 inches from either side. Now I'm out to the center of the slot, 1.5 inches down from the top. Now all I have to do is put my two nails in there and hang the picture. That's it. Now in this case, this is a plaster wall, so if I drive a nail in with a decent head on it, I'm going to splinter the plaster. So what we have to do is pre-drill a small hole with a cement bit, drill it in, straight in on a 90-degree angle to the wall, and then put the nail into that hole. That way we won't splinter the plaster on the wall at all. Okay, so that's really it. After that, it's just finding the holes and mounting the picture where you want it. Okay, we're going to tap these nails in, and you've got to be aware of how thick the backing is here. So how far out does the nail have to be to get inside the slot but not have a sloppy fit? And in this case, it's usually around an 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch, and you just pretty well tell that with your gauging it with your finger. Don't be afraid to stop tapping too soon and try it a couple of times, because it's easier to put the nail in than it is to take it out. And after that, it's just a matter of placing the picture on the wall, which can be fun. Okay, folks, so here we've got the picture mounted, and it's 6 1/4 inches. 6 1/4 inches. By golly, it's centered. But if it wasn't, we could just slide it along that slot a little bit one way or the other until it was dead center. And that's it, the picture's mounted.